Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to apologise that I've been really quiet on this channel for a while. I know I posted a video a couple of weeks ago, but typically I try and do a video once every month, and it's been probably almost 2 months, other than the video I posted the other week, since I actually did a proper video. I know I did my update, but still, I wanted to apologise. But I've been taking some time out. If you follow me on Instagram, then you'll probably know a little bit more, but if you don't, then I will tell you here. So basically, I have been dealing with a lot of stuff going on. I started with problems with my upper GI. I've always had problems with my upper GI anyway, usually with my gastroesophageal reflux or my laryngeal reflux, or as we know them as GORD or LPR. Anyway, and they've not got any better. It wasn't helped by the fact that I had to spend 2 weeks recently off my H2 inhibitor, because the H2 inhibitor I was currently taking was a marker for having an ingredient in it that can be linked to cancer or something. So they took me off that, and then they couldn't get it in any other chemist. So although it's been kind of out of the chemist for a while in the UK, I was still able to get it in some chemists at a higher dose. Now, the dosage that I was originally on was 150 twice a day. And then they were able to get the 300 microgram capsule, so I was just taking it once a day. But obviously they've now stopped being able to get that, and they're not expected to get it in again until next year. And I spoke to the doctor about it coming out of stock, and when I ordered it last month, and they basically told me that there wasn't an alternative. I'm already on highest dose of PPI, and they were basically just going to leave me on PPI. So I spent 2 weeks probably off my medication, and then I phoned up because in between all of this, I'd had, like I said, I've been having major GI issues, especially with my actual stomach, not my intestinal part of my stomach, but my actual internal stomach. Since February, I've been getting intermittent pain on eating since February, and they've been trying to expedite my routine tests as from routine to urgent back in, I think it was like April or something. And my consultant from gastro, who I haven't seen him personally for about 2 years, basically stated that I had a constipation issue and they had to deal with that. So I contacted my GP and I said, I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't have a constipation issue. I said, yes, I have IBS. I said, yes, I have slow dysmotility and gastroparesis or delayed gastric emptying. I said, especially with liquids. I said, because that was when it was picked up. I said, but it's worse with food. I said, which they haven't done a gastric emptying scan for yet. I said, but they are due to do manometry, pH study and breath test. I said, which you already know, which is what they're trying to expedite from routine to urgent. And she basically turned around and said, so why do they think that you've got a constipation issue? So I explained that when I went to see him a few years ago, when I very first went to see him about 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was like 2, 3, 4 years ago, I can't remember. I basically explained to him that I had IBS. I had IBS flares to the point where I was having diarrhea a lot. Sorry for too much information. I will make sure I'll mark it. But I was having basically diarrhea pretty much every other day. So I was emptying my system completely of anything that was there. I would have maybe 2 days of this, and then I would spend probably the best part of nearly 2 weeks before going to the bathroom again. We now know that was down to the fact that I have slow dysmotility and delayed gastric emptying. But he put that down as I was constipated. because it would take me so long to go back to the toilet. But it was more the fact that it would take me so long to refill my system back up enough for me to need to go to the bathroom. And I would either start with another IBS flare, because obviously my bowels hadn't been stimulated by anything for nearly 2 weeks, or I would go to the toilet like a regular person, just by self-evacuating. And the reason I self-evacuate is because I have a prolapsed bladder and a rectocele ledge, which I have to push out of the way in order to help myself go to the bathroom. Like I said, too much information, but I will flag warning. So anyway, I need to speak to my gastro consultant and get this marked down in the notes, because he wouldn't expedite the my tests sooner because of COVID, and because of the fact that apparently he thought I had a constipation issue. After explaining it to my GP, she then said, I don't believe you have a constipation issue. I think it's down to what you just said. I'm not going to provide you any laxatives or anything. I said, well, every time I go to gastro, they always give me laxatives. I said, and it always does the following. I said, it always makes me either do one or both of these. I said, it will make me throw up. I said, and it will also make me go to the bathroom. I said, and I will either just go to the bathroom and just feel like I'm going to vomit profusely at the same time, so it'll end up coming out of both ends. I said, or I said, I will just go to the toilet. I said, just feeling really sick. I said, I will have severe stomach cramps to the point I will be crawling to and from the bathroom. I said, and then I will end up to the point where I can't move and my energy level has just completely crashed, and I will pretty much be practically bedridden for almost 2 weeks until I have enough energy again left to start feeling normal again, because it'll take me up to that long in order for me to refill my system back up again with enough fuel and energy to function. I said, and that's just off one dose of medication. And she was like, I said, but they expected me to take this daily for the foreseeable. I said, and there was just no way I was going to be able to do that. I said, not being a single parent to 3 children, I said, with my brother's help, I said, because he's at work. I said, so there's no way I'm going to be able to do it. I said, so I was advised to come off it. So she went, yeah, absolutely, don't be doing that. It's just pointless. I said, there's no point giving somebody with IBS a stimulant to help them go to the bathroom, because all you're going to do is cause the IBS to flare really bad. I said, and that's what happens with me. I said, it doesn't help my stomach. I said, and it doesn't help me. So she understood. She's written down that I don't have a constipation problem. I've written down, I've told doctors the same since that particular appointment, the same. And they have now expedited again and said, this patient really needs to see a GP, see the surgical consultant with regards to having this manometry and everything done. He's got the report from my previous appointment with the doctor that first tried to expedite it, so he knows where my problems are. Between all that, again, I've been put on a different H2 inhibitor to see if that did any help, and it hasn't. And I'm basically living off Ryvita cracker breads with the thinnest layer of Philadelphia lighter cheese on it, to the point where you can still see the cracker through it. And that's only to give it a bit of extra taste, because if I put too much of a layer on, I actually feel like I'm going to throw up. And the doctor that put me on the H2 inhibitor wrote on the information afterward the appointment on the phone that not only had he provided me with a new H2 inhibitor, he also wrote down that I was living off biscuits. So I basically had a bit of a hissy fit and went online, and because we have a system thing where we can order prescriptions and see our files and stuff online, and I read what he'd written, and I basically wrote a message back saying, this is not accurate, this is not real, I'm not living off biscuits, I can't even stomach biscuits, unless they're really bland. Biscuits makes it sound like I'm eating junk food when I'm actually barely eating anything. Doctors need to basically make the notes correct and not basically state that I'm living off biscuits. It only takes my GI doctor to look at that I'm eating biscuits and think that I'm living off an unhealthy diet, and actually I'm not really living off any diet. Anyway, I've spoken to the doctor since then, not the same doctor, but a different doctor, and I explained this to him. And he totally agreed. And he was like, I understand completely. You know, it shouldn't be written up like that. I'll make sure that I write down what you're actually living off. I was like, good, because I'm not really living off anything. I said, I can't eat anything that's highly fat or highly sugared. I said, anyway, I've had my gallbladder out, so that rules off anything fatty. I said, and I can't, so everything that I have in my house is always light. So it's like, if we have mayonnaise, it's light. If we have any sauces, it's light, and low sugar, because I just physically cannot stomach them. I don't really have sauces anyway, but if I did, they would be light. And at the moment, I'm not really eating anything. So like the cheese that I have is the lightest cheese that I can get. It's the lowest fat I can buy as a spread cheese. And of course, the doctor had written it down that I was just eating biscuits. So you can imagine my anger at that, because I'm a 5'2" person, and I'm classed as overweight. A BMI would probably put me in the obese category, but I'm actually just really overweight. I'm somewhat big-chested. I don't really eat a lot. I don't drink enough. And everybody knows that in order to get rid of fluid retention, to break down foods and fats in foods, you need fluid. And I barely drink 250 mils a day, which is not a lot, really, when you think about it. And that's as it stands right now. I went on a medication called propranolol a few weeks ago, which I think it's been about a week and a half since I came off it, maybe a bit longer, possibly 2 weeks. And I was on it for 2.5 weeks, and I'm already on a heart medication. I went on propranolol to help with essential tremors, and it interacted with my heart medication. And it caused the heart medication that I was on to cause severe water retention, to the point where I already have a weaker right side. Anyway, and then my right leg was twice the size of my left leg, but my left leg was still swollen. My brother was extremely worried about it, because he was like, your right leg's like blowing up really bad. My face was really fat and chunky. Like I couldn't even do this. It was just like jowls down here. I don't have much of a chin anyway, so whenever I put weight on or whatever, I get fluid retention. My face just goes like a big round moon type shape. So I called the doctor up and I said, look, this is not working. It's helping with the tremors, but it's causing me to gain fluid retention. And I said, and when I say gain fluid retention, I mean I've gained nearly a stone in 2 weeks. And he was like, oh crap, yeah, come off it. The pharmacy said that I needed to come off it. The doctor agreed, so I came off it. But obviously you need to drink plenty in order to get rid of the fluid retention, and only drinking and being able to tolerate 250 mils orally is not enough to get rid of the fluid retention. So I went to see gastro back in December last year. I got referred for my tests in January, which I still haven't had done, and they're still trying to expedite them. And then when they weighed me, then I was 80 kilograms, which is roughly around 12 stone 10. Now at 5'2", 12 stone 10 is actually quite a lot of weight. And I was quite annoyed, and I'd got myself down to 12 stone 6 before I started the propranolol, because I wasn't eating. I was barely living off anything like I am now, but I was eating more then than I am now. And I went from like 12 stone 6 to 13 stone 2 just on propranolol alone, with my diet staying the same. So I was very angry and very annoyed. And I phoned my doctors up, took off the medication, and because I'm not drinking enough, then I'm having trouble losing that water weight. But since then, I've actually lost from 13.2. I'm now down to 12 stone 8. But that's down to the fact that I've not been eating, not because I'm losing fluid retention. I'm barely going to the bathroom to get rid of fluid because I'm not drinking enough. My dehydration level is increasing, and I then got notification last week that they'd cancelled my gastroenterology appointment for the 2nd of October. until further notice. So I was on the phone last week on Thursday having a meltdown and just kicking off, saying that, you know, my doctor's tried expediting tests twice as a matter of urgency and you've cancelled. Anyway, she said, we have just received your second expedition from your doctor this morning. And we've spoken, I've left it on the doctor's desk. I'll pencil you in for this coming Friday at 2:00. So I was like, awesome. So I'm due to go to gastro at 2. She said, I'll ring you Friday, i.e. tomorrow. This was on Thursday. Because it's Monday now. They were going to ring me on Friday to tell me whether or not the doctor was happy to see me on Friday this week, and she didn't phone. So I phoned her and asked her, and she said that she was still waiting for the doctor because he was on the ward to have a look at the paperwork that she'd put on his desk. But she said, if I don't hear anything, just presume that I'm to go on Friday. So I was like, okay. I haven't heard anything as of yet, so I'm presuming that I'm still going to my appointment on Friday. And I don't look forward to going to appointments at all. I hate them because I feel like I can't advocate very well for myself. I feel like they don't pay any attention. They're always running late, so you feel like you're rushed. But I'm really hoping that they pay attention to me this time, and they actually listen. They don't just fob me off with laxatives. They actually pay attention to me. I don't believe that you should be below a normal BMI in order to be treated for stomach issues and gastroparesis and things like that. I think you should have the treatment sooner. They can always modify your feed so that you're on a lighter feed rather than a full fat feed, so that you still lose weight that you need to lose in order to get to a normal weight, and so that you can sustain your fluid intake. I've already been told last year that feeding tube is likely, but before they started to do more invasive procedures, that I would have to lose some weight. And if you take off now the 11 pound that water retention that I gained from my propranolol, plus the 4 or 5 pound, I probably lost about 4 or 5 pound of that already. But if you lose the other 4 or 5 pound of that, plus the 4 or 5 pound that I gain at ladies' time, which is currently at the time at the minute, then you're looking at probably a 10 pound extra loss. So if you take 10 pound off 12 stone 8, you're looking at about 11, 13, which would mean that I would have lost 11 pound since he last saw me, which is really good. But whether he will deduct that way is another person's guess. He should, because obviously I'm having a hard time losing the fluid. I've written everything down, but I am looking forward to going to see my gastro team on Friday because I need answers. I need to be treated. I've made peace with the fact that I might need a feeding tube. If it gives me a better quality of life and gives me more energy and allows me to get the fluid intake that I require, then I'm quite happy to have one. I didn't really want one before I went on holiday, but then my holiday this year was cancelled. But I'm due to go on holiday again next year sometime, and I really don't care if I have a tube or not. My mum is more of it'd be a shame if you have a tube because you won't be able to eat the food that's there, and she doesn't realise that even with a feeding tube you can still taste foods and you can still drink certain things, providing that you don't vomit and throw up afterwards. But I have really made peace with it. I think the only concern that I have is, obviously I'm due to go on holiday. I would like to be able to go in a pool and paddle in the sea and stuff like that, and I don't know whether I'm able to if I have a tube, especially one in your stomach. If they decide to give me a stomach tube, like a gastro tube, or if they give me I know you can if you have an NJ or an NG tube, providing that you've turned it off and you've basically got the end closed off. but I'm not sure about the GJ or the GG tube or the PEG tubes, whether you can swim with them. I have heard that you can, providing that you've again closed them off and you've kept them clean and dry, and that salt water is better than chlorinated. But if you've got any suggestions down below, please let me know, because if they do decide to give me a tube, I will be new and I would like to know more information. So yeah, please let me know. And if you've got any advice on how to get my doctors to pay attention to me on Friday, please message below and let me know, because I'd be really grateful. Again, I apologise for being absent. I've been more active on Instagram than I have been on here. But again, I will try and be more active on here when I can. I'm going to do a video at some point on SVT so you can get to learn a little bit more about it, because I've been asked questions about that recently. And I'm still supposed to do my nephrotic syndrome video of what nephrotic syndrome is, and I promise you I will get around to it, but I just need to make sure that it's right first. But yeah, it's Pain Awareness Month this month, and having an illness that causes a lot of pain, like several illnesses that cause a lot of pain, I can totally relate. So happy Pain Awareness Month. I hope last month was easy on you guys gastroparesis wise, and because it's Gastroparesis Awareness Month. And it's also, I believe, Chiari Malformation Awareness Month this month. I have a friend that suffers with it, so happy Chiari Malformation Month as well. Sorry this video was so long. If you've liked it, please subscribe and press the thumbs up, and also press the bell, and it will give you notifications when I'm back on and posted a video. I'm gonna get out of my slump and go and spend some time with the two little ones now. I've done this video quite early, so I'm going to go and spend some time with them, but I apologise for being absent. So yeah, have a nice day, and I will speak to you all again soon. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.